Hi dear friends, so far we have discussed about all the 2D drawings related to mechanical, civil and electrical. Now we will enter into 2D isometric views. So this is 2D isometric views. So I have some text here. So this is actually we will create an isometric views. So these are the angles which are related to isometric views. So we need to remember this angles. So one is 0 degree, 30 degree, 90 degree and 150 degree. So within this 30, 90 and 150 degrees, so we will create an isometric view. So we need to remember these three angles. So complete angle would be 360 degree. So while giving dimensions and while aligning also, so we will use these angles only, 30 degrees, 90 and 150 degrees. So I have some points here. So we need to remember these points while dealing with isometric views. Before going to that, so I am entering into AutoCAD. So I am clicking here start drawing. So now see, I have entered into AutoCAD interface. Now the first point here is, so use all the 2D commands normally to draw 2D isometric drawings also. So for example, line, polyline, trim, etc. So we have different commands, right? So we have line here, we have polyline here, and we have a trim option here. So we can use all these options normally in 2D drawings, right? So we can also use all these options in 2D isometric drawings also. So it is the first point I need to tell you. So there are no separate commands or no separate tools are there to draw 2D isometric drawings. So we need to use whatever the commands we have used in 2D drawing. So we need to use those commands only. So it is the first point. Now we need to remember this point, second point. So only the tool here changing is while creating a circle. So I have typed here, to draw a circle in isometric plane, we need to use the axis and tool from ellipse drop down. So there is an option here. See, you can see here I am clicking here ellipse drop down and there is an option here axis and. So we need to use this option to draw a circle in isometric plane while dealing with isometric views or isometric planes. So while creating isometric drawing, so we need to use this axis and tool which is available in ellipse drop down. See, this is the option ellipse and we need to click here drop down and there is an option axis and. So it will be useful to draw circle. We should not use circle command directly to draw isometric views. So we need to use this axis and tool. So it will be available here. So we need to remember this. And now, so after clicking on this axis and tool, so we need to use an option called iso circle. See, there is an option called iso circle and tool and we need to select this iso circle. And after that, so we need to enter the center point and click the center point and give the radius or diameter of the iso circle. So as in the similar case of circle command, so but the option has changed here. So we will give the same values, either radius or diameter of the circle. So it is the third point you need to remember. And now there is a fourth point here. So we need to switch on F5 functional key which is related to ISO draft. So that only ISO circle option will be highlighted, and also to change the planes from right to left or left to right or left to top, whatever the planes so you are dealing with. So you can also change the planes from different types. So we need to on this, we need to switch on this F5 functional key. So as earlier I have said different types. So we need to on this, we need to switch on this F5 functional key. So as earlier I have said this axis and tool and there is an option iso circle. So if you go and click on here the axis and tool, so ellipse command will be activated, but there are only two options here, arc and center. There is no iso circle option. Why it is not showing here is, so I have given a point here, so you must switch on F5 functional key which is known as iso draft. So you just take your cursor near to this. See, there is an option here iso draft. So you must on this first. So you must click on this. So the interface will be changed to isometric plane. And now if you click on this axis and tool, so there is an option here, ISO circle. We have switch on this. See. So for that reason, so it is making on. So if you switch off this, so and if you go and click on this axis and tool, the ISO circle option won't be highlighted. That won't be activated. So you must be ensure that. So for that reason, I am giving this 4 point. So you must on this to highlight the ISO circle. And you can also change the different planes also while dealing with the isometric drawings. So it will be also very useful. F5 functional key. So now, so see, the 5th point I need to tell you is, so we haven't made this on, right? So it is in off mode. Currently it is in off mode, and if you check your cursor, it is exactly, so which is perpendicular to each other. The two lines which are perpendicular to each other. If you closely observe the, so I am going into the command line, giving the command snap style, press enter. Now the value is 0, is in 0. So if you give 1, if you enter 1 and press enter, now see it will be activated. So ISO draft will be activated and the cursor style will also be changed. See, if you enter 1, the value, if you give 1, the cursor style will be changed. And now again I am going into the command line and giving the command snap style, press enter. If you give 0 and press enter, see it will be in the off mode. ISO draft will be in the off mode and the cursor will be in the normal style only. See, so it is the option similar to the functional key F5. So if you can directly click on this and switch on this ISO draft option, or you can go to the command line and give the snap style. If you give 0, it will be in the off mode, and if you give 1, then it will be in the on mode, and the cursor style will also be changed according to the isometric planes. So it is the point 5, you must be remembered. And now there is a 6th point. So also make sure that F10 which indicates polar tracking mode. So that functional key should be in on mode, and moreover the angle tracking must be set to 30, 60, 90, 120, etc. So at the initial stage I have already told you, while dealing with isometric drawings, so you need to remember 30, 90 and 150 degrees. So this functional key will be, see, if you take your cursor near to here the status bar, so see, it is an option polar tracking. So you must switch. It is the point. You must switch on this polar tracking. And if you click on this drop down, there are different angle tracking here. See at which angles you need to track the lines or objects or whatever. So you must tick on only this 30, 60, 90, 120, 150, like that 30 increment angles will be activating. So you must tick on this. You must not tick on any other angles. See, there are different angles here. You must not tick on another angles. So you must tick on this 30, 60, 90, 120. See, you must on this polar tracking option, and you must click on this drop down, and you must see, we should on this. So it is the point, 6th point. So you need to remember each and every point while dealing with isometric drawings, so that only you can complete the drawings in an easiest way and in less time. See, without all these points you cannot complete isometric drawings properly. Kindly remember all these things. So there is a 7th point here. Also make sure that object snap tracking, so which is the functional key related to F11, you must on this. So why should we on this? To track the snap points in diagram. So earlier videos I have already told what are the snap points. So if you take your cursor near to the status bar, just see, you can observe this option, object snap tracking. You must on this. So you must switch on this to track the snap points. To track the snap points while dealing with isometric drawings, so you must track the snap points. So for that you must on this object snap tracking, which is related to F11 functional key. So you can also observe here in the status bar also. You must switch on this. And there is a 8th point here. You must make sure that object snap, which is related to F3 functional key, also must be on. So for that, the snap points on the respective points of isometric views will be highlighted. To highlight the snap points, so you must on this, which is beside to this object snap tracking. There is an option here, object snap, which is related to F3 functional key. So you must on this, and if you click on this drop down, there are different options. So whatever you need, so you can click on this, or you can also go to here, object snap settings, and whatever you need. So you must on this first. I am clicking OK. So we must on object snap, and along with object snap, we need to make sure that, so we need to switch on this object snap tracking also. So this is the point you need to remember. Give aligned dimensions as followed in 2D drawings into annotate tab. So what I need to tell you is, so in 2D drawings we have created some of the profiles and we have given this aligned dimensioning or linear or whatever. So in this 2D isometric drawings, while giving, after completing drawings and while giving dimensions, so you must select this aligned dimension only. So first initial stage, so we need to apply aligned dimensions to hold the drawing, and then we need to go to the annotate tab. So this is the annotate tab, and you need to click on this dimension drop down, and you need to select this option, oblique. You need to select this oblique option. So while giving oblique angle to the dimensions, the angles must be given with respect to the inclined lines of the isometric view. So for example, I have already told you, before we need to give dimension, aligned dimension for the diagram. After that we need to go to annotate tab, and you need to go to here, and if you click on this oblique, so it will ask you to select the object. So here you need to select the dimensions. After selecting dimensions, so it will ask you an oblique angle. So you need to give this angle related to the inclined lines of that drawing. So we will look into this while creating drawings. And the last point you need to remember is, if you want to align the dimension text also, so this oblique option is only for aligning the dimension line only. So if you want to align the dimension text also, so you need to go to the dimension style command, and you need to give the text oblique angle also. So the text oblique angle ranges from -85 degree to +85 degree. So you must remember all these points so that it will be very useful to create isometric drawings in an easiest manner.